Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my daughter to the stage. That's what my mother said into the microphone at her 50th birthday party. But what she whispered right after, thinking the mic was off, changed everything. Too bad she's not smart enough to understand what today really means. 2,000 guests laughed. They thought it was a joke. They didn't know I had spent 6 months planting evidence that would send her to prison. And they definitely didn't know that in exactly 3 minutes, I was going to ruin her life in front of everyone she ever loved. Before I tell you exactly how I destroyed my own mother's empire, let me ask you something. Drop a comment if you've ever been made to feel invisible by your own family. I need to know I'm not the only one who grew up as a ghost in her own home. I stepped out from behind the velvet curtain. My red heels clicked against the crystal stage floor. The Grand Meridian Hotel. 50,000 rupees per plate. Imported roses from Ecuador. A 5-tier cake covered in edible gold. All paid for with money that didn't belong to her. The room fell silent. Not because they were impressed, but because I wasn't supposed to be there. I was the daughter she only invited to make herself look like a caring mother. The degreeless disappointment. The 28-year-old failure who couldn't even get married. I walked up to the podium. My mother's smile froze on her Botoxed face. Her eyes went cold. She expected me to say, "Thank you, Mama." She expected me to give some emotional speech about what a wonderful woman she was. She didn't get that. I took the microphone from her hand. She was too shocked to resist. "My mother is right about one thing," I said, my voice calm and surgical. "I'm not very smart. In fact, I barely passed my accounting degree." Guests nodded. Some pitied me. My mother's smile returned, victorious. "But you see," I continued, "sometimes being underestimated is the greatest gift you can receive." I opened the black file I'd been holding under my arm. Because while everyone thought I was too dumb to understand numbers, I became a forensic auditor for the National Accountability Bureau. The air in the ballroom changed. It got thicker, heavier. My mother's face turned white, like someone had drained all the blood from her body in 1 second. "Let me tell you what today really means," I said, looking directly at the guests. "Today isn't just my mother's 50th birthday. Today is the day she officially becomes the CEO of Zara Enterprises, a 500 crore rupee textile company. The company my father built from nothing before he died 3 years ago." I flipped a page in the file. According to his will, the company would go to my mother only if she proved herself capable. She had 3 years to double the revenue. Another page. She didn't. Revenue dropped 40%, but the books say otherwise. The books say the company is thriving. I turned to her. She was gripping the edge of the table, her perfectly manicured nails digging into the white tablecloth. "Mama, do you want to tell them? Or should I?" "Silence, fine, I'll do it." I faced the crowd. For the last 3 years, my mother has been running a ghost employee scheme. 47 workers who don't exist. But their salaries, those are very real. 2.3 crore rupees, paid every month, directly into offshore accounts in Dubai. Gasps echoed through the ballroom. She hired a chartered accountant to cook the books, made it look like the company was profitable. She bribed the auditors. She even forged my father's signature on loan documents to cover the losses. I held up a document. A bank statement with highlighter marks. This party, the gold cake, the imported flowers, all paid for with embezzled money. Money that belonged to 450 real employees, who haven't received a bonus in 2 years. My mother stood up. Her chair fell backward with a crash. "You have no proof?" she screamed. Her voice was shrill, desperate. I didn't even blink. "Actually, I have 14 months of proof. Every transaction, every fake invoice, every bribe. I've been building this case since the day Papa died. You want to know why I did this? Let me take you back. 3 years ago, the night my father had a heart attack, we were at the dinner table. I had just told him I wanted to study accounting. He smiled. He said he was proud of me. He said one day I'd help him run the company. My mother laughed. Actually laughed. Her? Run a company? Beta. She can't even balance her own checkbook. Let her get married. That's the only thing she's good for. My father defended me. He always did. 2 hours later, he collapsed. Died in the ambulance. I never got to say goodbye. At his funeral, my mother didn't cry. She was too busy on the phone, talking to lawyers, talking about the will, talking about how to take control. I stood there invisible, again. That night, in my father's study, I found his personal diary. The last entry was dated the day he died. It said, "I'm worried about Zara Enterprises. The numbers don't add up. I think someone is stealing from the company. I need to investigate. He knew. He knew my mother was dirty. And I think that stress killed him. I made a promise that night. I would finish what he started. So I enrolled in forensic accounting. I worked 3 jobs to pay for it. I slept 4 hours a night. My mother thought I was wasting my time. She thought I was too stupid to succeed. She was wrong. I graduated top of my class, got recruited by the NAB, and then I did something brilliant. I volunteered to audit small businesses. I stayed under the radar. I made sure my mother never knew what I was doing. For 14 months, I tracked every transaction. I interviewed employees. I found the fake names. I traced the offshore accounts. And I waited. I waited for this exact moment. The moment she thought she had won. My mother walked toward me. Her face was red, veins bulging in her neck. "You ungrateful little snake," she hissed. "After everything I did for you, I put a roof over your head. I fed you. And this is how you repay me?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. For the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. "You didn't do anything for me, Mama. You did it for yourself, so you could play the role of the perfect mother in front of people like this." I gestured to the silent crowd. "You made me feel worthless. You told me I was stupid. You told me I'd never amount to anything. You did that so I would stay small. So I wouldn't ask questions. So I wouldn't notice what you were doing." She slapped me. The sound echoed through the ballroom. I didn't move. I didn't touch my face. I just stared at her. "That's assault," I said calmly. In front of 2,000 witnesses, I pulled out my phone, showed her the screen. "And this is a live call with Deputy Director Rashid from the NAB. He's been listening for the last 4 minutes." Her hand flew to her mouth. "He heard you admit to putting a roof over my head with stolen money. He heard you threaten me. And most importantly, he heard you not deny a single accusation I made." The phone slipped from her hand. It shattered on the floor. "You can't do this," she whispered. "I'm your mother." "No," I said. "You're a criminal. And criminals go to jail." She fell to her knees. "Right there, in front of everyone. Please," she begged. "Please, Beta. Don't do this. I'll give you anything. Money, the company, anything. I don't." "Want your dirty money?" I said. She grabbed my dress. Tears running down her face. Mascara smearing. "Then what do you want?" I leaned down, whispered in her ear. "I want you to feel what I felt. I want you to know what it's like to be invisible, to be powerless, to watch your whole world collapse while everyone you know just stares." I stood up. The ballroom doors burst open. 6 NAB officers in uniform, led by Deputy Director Rashid. "Zara Khalid," he announced. "You are under arrest for embezzlement, fraud, and money laundering." They handcuffed her. Right there on the stage. She looked at me. "One last time. You destroyed me," she said. "No," I replied. "You destroyed yourself." I just turned on the lights. As they took her away, I turned to the crowd. "The party's over. But don't worry. The company will survive, because starting tomorrow, I'm the new CEO, and the first thing I'm doing is giving every employee the bonus they deserved 2 years ago." The employees in the room started clapping, slowly at first, then louder. My mother's so-called friends, they sat in silence, ashamed. I walked out of that hotel with my head held high. For 28 years, I was the invisible daughter, the one who wasn't smart enough, the one who wasn't good enough. But invisible doesn't mean powerless. It means people don't see you coming. My mother thought silence meant weakness. She thought my quietness meant I had accepted my place. She didn't realize I was silent because I was watching, learning, planning. Fire doesn't announce itself. It just burns. As I drove home that night, I called my father's number. I know it's disconnected, but I needed to say it out loud. "Papa, I finished what you started. She can't hurt anyone anymore." And for the first time since he died, I felt peace. If someone in your life treats you like you're nothing, let them. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're too weak, too dumb, too broken. Because one day when they least expect it, you'll show them exactly who you are. And by the time they realize their mistake, the game will already be over. Remember this. The quietest people have the loudest minds, and the most dangerous opponent is the one you never saw coming.